Hi there. My name is Christian Honer. I'm here today to show you how to start a wildly profitable side hustle for athletes, coaches, high performers, and creators with what you already know in 2024 without sponsorships, NIL deals, one-on-one private lessons, starting a club, brand deals, anything like that. So, over the next few minutes, I'm about to show you, as an athlete, sports coach, creator, high performer, how you can go and launch a digital marketing product from your knowledge and skills that you already know. I'm talking about getting your first sale in the next 30 days, making an extra 20 grand in the next few months, six figures in 2024 from what you already know, serving your fans and followers at a higher level, and how you can be one of the three people that I actually work with one on one for the next 3 months. And me personally working with you, direct access to go and implement this so you can actually blow up your earnings, how much money you make, and your ability to sell in the next 30 days, 90 days. I'm talking about getting paid in the next 30 days. Sound good? And if we've never met, I'm Christian Honer, and I'd love to walk three of you into this system. But I wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about it, about the system, so you can kind of learn more about that, and you can kind of take it and run with it. And you don't have to work with me if you don't want to. I just have these kind of opportunities, and this should kind of teach you exactly what to go and do. So I currently have made over $1 million with my clients and partners by asking what their people want, packaging their knowledge and skills, and launching it out to the world without any, annoying brand deals, sponsorships, and NIL deals, anything like that. And I call it the digital money method. And so I'll tell you kind of when I learned about it specifically and how I was able to make, 1.2 million in about a year. But I'm going to kind of bring it back a little bit to my journey prior to. So I was an athlete. I remember just training and realizing how underpaid I felt as a human being, as an athlete, as a man, and how I felt I was working hard, spinning my wheels, doing 9 to 5 jobs here, doing little freelance gigs here, but I wasn't really able to find any sort of financial stability. I was all in on my sport, and I was a broke athlete, or I was just barely getting by, scraping by. I remember Uber eating in between practices and not really being able to afford hotel rooms, sleeping on couches, sleeping on the beach, and really feeling so much pressure to perform because I just wasn't making the money with my little jobs and things like that that I really knew I wanted and was capable of. And the brand deals and sponsorships, nothing like that really was working or making any change in my financial life. So at that point, I had this big pain. I was like, man, this freaking sucks. Like, I would love to learn a skill that could pay me and, out of nothing, literally just like out of thin air. And so I got into digital marketing, right? So it was at first it was just a side hustle thing. I was like, and I'll tell you a story about when I first started, but this is kind of when this whole epiphany happened and how I kind of found out that digital products are like the way to go. It's just incredible. So I was helping this guy out, and which kind of introduced me in this education, digital courses, digital products world. So I studied a bunch, bought a lot of books, and we basically went out to his people, asked them kind of what they would want to learn from him, and launched this thing. And first launch, we did about 15K, which was, I mean, for me, a big epiphany. I was like, I can make 15K in one day. Wow, that's crazy. And we made $100,000, so six figures in one night, and that was within a few months of working together. And by the end, we made about $1 million. And I then have done this with several other clients and partners, and a lot of these clients at the time, didn't really have 2,000 followers even. And like, what? And so you don't even need a bunch of followers. It's kind of funny. A lot of people think you do. Blew my mind. I was like, holy crap. Me as a broke athlete, broke man, just like this, if I could just put the time and energy and focus on my sport and my craft and my family and helping people and serving people, which was what I actually wanted to do. This whole digital marketing thing and this digital information world was just a whole new world for me, right? It's like being able to literally take someone's knowledge, take a skill set, and putting it into something that people actually want to buy, like doing it or selling it to your fans, your followers. And so I realized that us as athletes, as creators, as high performers, sports coaches, we have an unfair advantage, right? Like this crazy unfair advantage. I'm gonna move this up because I'm looking down because that's where my screen is. That's funny. Now I can see myself. And so like we literally have such an unfair advantage. And because so many people, athletes, creators, things like that, people that are already kind of posting content and doing things out there, a lot of you, as an athlete or creator, you already have people that love you, that love your sport, that love what you offer. What maybe you're a mom that loves sharing good fitness things or sharing how you can be a better parent or whatever. I've seen people sell products of teaching dogs and making like 10 grand in a day. Like it, it can be anything. It doesn't even have to be your sport. So have you felt like maybe the rich people, the people that actually have money, the people, I mean, you as an athlete, the people that are actually like crushing it, but not using sponsorships or things like that, like they're literally able to not worry about that? Do you think that there'd be people, a club out there of people that actually know about that? And if you knew that, it would be so easy for you to sell and serve your fans by making a good living. And do you think you've kind of been maybe lied to of like people not, well, maybe not lied to, but you just never knew that you could actually make money and make cash and improve people's lives from your knowledge, from your expertise, and from your skills? Maybe you've heard of the stories of people selling products for, seeing them $10 a month, $7 one-time fee, $1 free trial, getting a bunch of signups, or people selling offers, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, at 50K, 100K. Think about that, selling one person, literally delivering one product for that amount of money. But you probably haven't experienced that. Maybe you've heard about it, or maybe this is the first time you heard about it. Guess what? Like it wasn't for me, it wasn't until I hired a mentor that taught me really just how correct you are. I paid $25,000 to go and have a coach mentor me to help me get out of my own way, to help me learn these digital marketing skills. And there's a lot of people out there that are willing to that have a lot of money that are willing to buy something from you, whether it's $7 or $25,000. And if you only had a way that they could actually give you your credit card, give you their credit card, hopefully not you're giving them their, well, you could too if you want to buy something from them. And while that coach and mentor that I got, that I paid $25,000, he said, Christian, we overcomplicate what it really takes like to make money because you don't realize there's so many ways to do it. And I'll tell you a little bit about another way that I did it when I was 13 years old, and I made like 1,500 bucks a month at 13 years old, and I was spending like no time on it. This was in 2008. And so, but I'll tell you about that after this. And so my coach, he said, Christian, there's only three things you need to know about being able to package what you know and make a great living from it. And basically, we ask our clients, step one, we ask our people, we ask, what is the one thing that you want to buy? Because we don't want to guess. I don't want to just say, hey, I'm guessing that this is what you want. We want to like sit down and be like, okay, get some data, get some clear data of like, oh, like, what do you actually want to buy? Like, just think about it. Imagine we don't want to sell people of something that they actually don't want to buy. We don't want, your fans to hate you, your followers. That would be terrible. But just imagine, who's your idol? Just think about your idol. Like maybe it's Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, maybe it's, Serena Williams, maybe it's Kerry Walsh, an Olympian or someone like that. And imagine if they were to send you an email or post something on their page and or a text, send you a text and Instagram message and ask you, what would you like? Like they're like Kerry Walsh or Bill Dawes or any of these people, like, what do you want to learn from them? And will you have something you want to learn from them? Yeah, for sure, 100%. Would you pay maybe $1,000, $5,000 to go and learn from the greats? Right? Of course you would. Well, guess what? Your people and the people that follow you, you're like their Michael Jordan to them. They follow your thing, they're checking out your stuff, and in your own unique way. Maybe you got a great skill or knowledge. Maybe you're a knitter and people are willing to pay for it. You're the goat to them because you're the person they're following, right? So they look up to you. And so the first thing we do is we go and ask them. We're like, hey, what do you want to learn? Basically a little ask campaign and asking your people. Because if we think about the math, you have 1,000 people that pay you $10 a year. That's $100,000 business. That's a 6-figure business right there. So it's wild when you think of the numbers that way. And 20 at 5,000 or whatever. You can do the math pretty easy. First thing we do, what do you want to learn? to your followers, your fans, people that follow you. Maybe they want to learn the sport. Maybe they want to learn something specific about your sport. Maybe they want to learn how to train dogs, lose weight. Maybe they want to learn how to be a better parent or how to stop drinking alcohol. And who knows? That's step one. So you're like, okay, cool. Because if you don't really ask your people like what they, then you're just guessing. You're not getting actual data from them. So they're gonna be mad at you. They're gonna be like, you're trying to sell them something, but if you ask, if you ask, then all of a sudden it's like they're just gonna tell you. They're gonna be like, this is what they want to buy, and they're gonna be pumped when you're trying to sell them. They're gonna be stoked, and then you're gonna be able to help them, which is how cool is that? Contributing to society. That's our moral obligation. And so the second thing we do is once we get that data and gather that data, is we build the product. So here's the thing, the cool thing about digital product is every single product, every digital product is different. There's tons of different digital products, right? I learned this, in the space. We always think, maybe you've seen the $27 course or the $67 course or the $97 course or the $1,000 course or whatever. But guess what? There's all different type of ranges. And I didn't know if you knew that, but people buy stuff for, $1, 27, 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25, 50,000. Like I said, I paid $25,000 to a mentor a couple years ago. I've spent a couple $100,000 on coaches, mentors. Like think about this for a second. If you okay, just say you're making $200,000 a year, right? Maybe you're making 200, $300,000 a year. Whatever. And someone came along and they're like, "Hey, I want to teach you to be the very best at, something that you want to learn. Maybe what's something you want to learn? Think about that for a second. Maybe you want to be the best in fitness. Maybe you want to learn how to lose a bunch of weight, or maybe you want to make money, or maybe you want to, learn how to knit. Maybe you want to speed read. And if that person could show you how to do that and you're making that $300,000 a year, $200,000 a year, would you pay $25,000 if you're making 300? Yeah, of course, right? So the next thing we do is take all this information and we distill the principles of what they want to learn. We put it into a digital product and we figure out what product is going to be best for you, right? So some of them are subscriptions, some of them are whatever, but basically, you just take the information, film some videos, and that's what you're going to sell now. So we create the product. Imagine that. Imagine, a week from now or a month from now, you have your own digital product helping people get what they want. And not only do you absolutely know people want to buy, but it's also you're taking your knowledge and your expertise and putting it into something that you can be proud of and that you can stand behind and get behind and constantly be able to serve and sell to the marketplace, right? Like how incredible and amazing would that be? Like, most athletes, most creators, most humans in general, they don't think like this, right? They do it for themselves, but think about the impact that you could have, how many lives you can change. It's not just about the money. Like you're literally changing and contributing to growth and change of your sport or whatever it is that your people want. Like, so take it. So the first thing we do is we don't guess, we ask these people. And the second thing we do is we go and take the product, right? We're like, all right, let's put this whole thing together. And then the third thing is we actually launch it. How we launch it is actually really simple. So most people, how many of you guys, how many of you guys love it when someone literally just tries to sell you something, and maybe it's someone's on the beach and like, hey, you want a cigar? Or hey, you want to, down the street in Vegas, right? Nobody likes that. Nobody wants you to just people to just come up and be like, hey, you want to buy? Nobody likes that. How many of you guys like it when you come into and create an experience? Like, just imagine if you create an experience for people. Like maybe, maybe yeah, think about think about all the pastors if they just came up to you and you're like, give us money, give us money, give us money. Nobody wants you to do that, right? Like nobody's going to give them money. But if they create a church and you're part of that church and you love that church and you feel like a family and you see and like what they're doing and the work that they're doing and all that, how much more likely are you just going to want to give them money, right? Tithing, that's just a part of it. But if pastors are running around, give me money, that's not, they create that environment, they're going to give money. Same thing's true with your people. Like, so what we do is when we launch this is we don't just go try sell, 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 tell everyone about our thing. What we do is we create an experience. Like the training that you're in right now, we create this experience that you came in, provide value, show how much you care. And it could be a short training, long, whole day, 5 days, right? We could take this, invite them in, teach them about our process. And at the end say, hey, if you want to learn something about this, what would the project look like? Or this is what it'll potentially be. And so you just show them that. And realistically speaking, just like the guy that I helped, we made that 100 grand in one night. We made $1 million in a year. So the third thing is we launch it, but not like a traditional launch, right? We're not going to be salespeople because that's not what we are. We're athletes, creators, humans, and we care about people. We care about helping people. We're not trying to shove things down people's throats. And instead, we're trying to find the people, find our people, find your people, the diehards, the people that want to give you money, the people that want to learn from you, right? It's kind of that 1,000 true fans. If you have 1,000 true fans that are giving you $10 a year, that's a six-figure business right there, So we're trying to find those people, invite them in, show them what we do, and you're inviting them into training, and that's it. And imagine if you were to do something like that. So that's our framework. There's kind of, you know, create this digital product and where you're going to go, get your people. You're going to build a product specifically for them, ask what they want, and launch it to them in a way that doesn't feel like buying, that they actually feel like buying. And that's the process. Okay. Like how much if you were to do something like this, how much would your life change? Like, how much would it be worth to you? 100 grand, 50 grand, 200 grand? For me, it was worth a lot. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars figuring this out. It's not a simple product process. So the digital money, it is a simple process, but it's, to implement it is a whole different ballgame. So the digital money method is a process of basically recreating an environment where these things can happen. I want to think for a second. When would you be able to ask your people for what they want, package it together and sell it for, whatever, 1,000, 5,000, whatever, and sell an extra 50K, 100K in 2024? Say even it's an extra $10,000 in the next 2024 year. What would that do for you? Imagine. This is the reality that can happen. And I mean, for me, it was making that $100,000 in a night. And I remember going to Beach Pros, and I remember the prize money being 20K. And with this tournament, I was in a tournament in Austin, I believe. I remember losing in the qualifier. And I still did a product launch that day, and I personally took home 20 grand that night. And I was like, wow, like that makes me feel better at losing. Like I made 20 grand just as much as the winner is gonna win. Like obviously we hate losing, but it took a lot of pressure off of me feeling like I had to make a living, and it just kind of provided that extra buffer. And so I want to tell you a little bit about my origin story a little bit, just so you kind of know this isn't something that I just got going with. And so I want to tell you a little bit about it. It's my origin story where I started the whole making money online, because I already told you kind of how I could help that client make 100K in one night, make 1 million and in one year. And actually after this, I can kind of show you me in the back end, the 115K or whatever that we made. I can kind of show you a little video just so you can see it, just thinking of it out loud. So yeah, I want to tell you that even longer ago, I was making money online. So, like, I've been an athlete since I was in 2013, my senior year in high school. But 5 years prior to that, I got introduced into the world of making money online in 2008. And I was 13 years old. I was researching how can a 13-year-old make money online. I found this site called Cash Crate. It's probably still out there. And it was a get paid to site. So where I would get paid to fill out surveys and refer others to the site. So I made most of my money basically by referring people. And I made $1 per referral, 30% of what they made in their account. My first month, I made 74 bucks. I barely put any effort into it, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a scam. I was like, oh, let's see if I actually get a check in the mail. So when I got a check and found out it was legit, I put a ton of serious effort into it. Being 13 years old, finish school, and then just go all in on it. And you can see some pics here. I can pull up, and I ended up making like 430 one of the next months. And I remember for a little while, like before my 14th birthday, I made 1,500 bucks in one month, and then continued to make that 1,500 bucks. So my strategy was actually really cool. This was one of the most hands-off money things that I've done, and this is just so you understand that this isn't the first time I've done this. I've done this for a long time. So my strategy was this: I would record myself doing the process of posting these little ads that I would get people to be referrals of mine. And I would post in the top 25 states. And once I did, I actually recorded that, did it one time. And then there was this tool that I used and clicked play. And then it wasn't like AI, but it was like I literally just did something and like took my couple hours of like posting and getting my leads, and then, which was a simple process, click copy paste, copy paste. I would just do that one time and then record it and then click play, and then it would just do it for me. I would be able to go outside, hang out with my buddies, and just like come back and there was like 50, 70 bucks, at 13 years old, 14 years old. So I've continued to add to my tool belt now, obviously the education space, but I started kind of doing a bunch of digital marketing launches since then. It kind of set me free. That I now thinking about it, that was like where it started, and there was a gap there because I was just a teenager and I didn't even think about doing this. Maybe I saved enough money, I don't even remember. But that set me on a journey to build websites, SEO, graphic design, ads, landing pages, and the whole digital marketing world, coaching, this and that. So yeah, who knows what's next? I mean, I've been able to do some cool stuff in that space. So that's kind of my origin story. Many believe that, you have to have extensive technical skills to make money online. And this belief can really deter you from starting and realize that there's so many tools, especially nowadays. And I was able to do it at 13 when there wasn't any tools. So there's tons of stuff designed for beginners. Obviously, the process of creating a digital course is so much more exciting, fulfilling, much more opportunity. Like we said, we're able to serve our people at a really high level. But I was able, at 13 to make an extra $18,000 at 13 with a little skill. Like, what would that do for you? Extra 18,000 bucks. What would you do? That's, a little bit more than a grand a month. How beautiful would that be? So that was the training. I wanted to share you kind of what was possible with the internet these days and with the e-learning digital courses kind of place. I think it's at like $400 billion this year that it's going to bring in. Maybe I think it's up to like 600 in a couple years. So don't you want a piece of the pie? Like your fans and your people want to learn something from you and they're willing to give you money. And so here's the deal. Like I said, I have an offer, and if it's okay with you, I basically just want to kind of share what that would look like. Does that work? Cool. All right, so I know how hard the transition is as an athlete to business, and even just like creators and high performers trying to figure it out, being a high performer, being underpaid, wanting to be in control of your earnings and your impact. And I've offered to work with athletes, creators, high performers, anyone that feels like they have a skill or knowledge that they want to serve and give to the world. For those of you that would be interested in and actually having my help, because I've done it and I've literally made over $1 million, right? So cool. So basically, like I said, I'm looking for 3 people, and that's all I can really work with right now. Pretty tapped in that realm of time, and I got a little one on the way. And basically, it's called Digital Side Hustle Athlete. So this is a application. And so I normally only accept, 50% or so of the applications. And what we're going to do is you're going to fill out that form, and we're going to sit down on a call, free call, right? So we'll sit down and I'll see if it's kind of a good fit. I'll take a look at your stuff. We'll go over it and kind of tell you what it would look like to work with me. And if that's interesting, and if you're interested, and yeah, just want you to kind of imagine, sit down on a call, for an hour, hour and a half. And the first thing we do is we figure out who's your audience and who we could be kind of doing this to. And second thing we figure out is like what type of product and how much would the product be? How would you sell it for? We'll map that out. And the third thing would be like how we launch it. How do we get it out there? And so by the time that the call's done, you'll have kind of very much more clarity in what this kind of process looks like for you specifically. And then, we just kind of, and if you want my help with it, then, or if you want to kind of go down your own route, up to you. It's kind of 2 choices. That's what that look like. So yeah. So, if you do an application, I'll give you a nice free funnel or a case study of kind of how I help that digital marketer if you kind of go through the process with me, just so you can have some good value. So for anyone that applies, I'll give you that case study that basically helped us make $1 million. And then yeah, just book a call below and you can apply there. So you'll do a little application and then just pick a time. And yeah, just imagine, right now you've got 2 options. First option is you can keep kind of doing what you're doing, which is great. You watch this training, yeah, you can go back to doing whatever you're doing. And, in 3 months from now, 6 months, a year from now, you're going to be exactly where you are, and the trajectory that you're on. So nothing changes if nothing changes. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't, right? But there's another option. So you can go book a call and I can get on the phone with you. And, in 30 days, in 6 months, in 12 months, you could be really helping your followers at a really high level, taking a piece of the $300 billion industry and a place where I've been able to make over $1 million with my clients and partners. And you could be helping your people become better athletes, better people, and getting paid for it. So yeah, and over the next, 6, 12 months, you can make an extra 50 grand, 100 grand, or whatever. And that's basically what I'm going to help you map out. And so it's 100% free to apply and book a call. We'll just sit down and chat. But the catch is, Like I said, I only work with 3 people, so I'm only going to take about 5 calls from this launch, and I had several people interested in this training. So first come, first serve. And yeah, what this is about is becoming that side hustle millionaire. If you want to make $1 million, great too. But to get started, you got to get started, and it starts with kind of that first couple sales in the next 30 days. And I want to kind of be able to sit there and map it out for you and figure out kind of where you want to get to and kind of where you're at right now. And so, yeah, we'll basically build you a game plan on this call, and I'll show you kind of what it'll look like to work with me. And that will be that. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys, those who apply on a call. If not, no worries. It's not for you. No problemo. But those that it is, I look forward to chatting, and really excited to help more people in this space. And yeah, if there's anything I can do to help in the meantime, take care. Hope this training was of value, and I hope you got some stuff that you can go apply, whether or not you apply for the book a call or you just kind of go on your own route. Anyways, blessings to you. Have a blessed day. Take care.